What's up, Miami? How are you guys? Me and my team have been fired up to get back here. It's been 20 years. We're finally back with an amazing card this weekend. Who's got the first question?
Start with the champ, please. Alex, just wanted to ask you, you've had a chance to fight Israel Adesanya 3 times now, but just once in MMA. I'm curious kind of what you learned in the last fight or what surprised you in the last fight that you weren't aware of before.
Alex, você teve a chance de lutar contra o Adesanya já 3 vezes, 2 vezes fora e uma aqui no UFC. O que você aprendeu com essas lutas contra ele?
Bom, sempre aprendendo, né? Foi uma luta dura. Eu aprendi que eu tenho que estar mais atento. Todo mundo sabe que o Adesanya é um cara perigoso, é um cara experiente, é um cara inteligente. Então vem aprendendo muito e eu sei que eu tenho que ficar mais esperto com ele.
Always learning in my life. I know that Adesanya is a dangerous, complete fighter, someone who's always taking advantage of opponents' weaknesses. I have to be more attentive to him, always paying attention because he can do things.
And Alex, of course, you're already 3-0 against Israel. You are the champion at this point. So what's at stake here for you? I mean, what does this fight mean to you?
E você, 3-0 contra ele, 3 vitórias, nenhuma derrota. O que está em jogo para você agora? O que você quer dessa luta?
Bom, eu não estou vendo essas 3 lutas que passaram, porque, como eu falei, ele é um cara experiente, ele foi o ex-campeão, ele é o ex-campeão. Então, se eu chegar dentro daquele octógono e eu não fizer nada do que eu treinei, ele vai ganhar de mim. Então eu tenho que esquecer essas lutas e agora vai ser uma próxima luta e eu estou preparado.
I'm not thinking about those 3 fights. As I said, he's a former champion, a great champion, a very dangerous fighter. If I keep those 3 fights in my head, I'm not going to do things the way I needed to. I trained for this one. I'm prepared for this new fight.
And Israel, for you, I wanted to ask you a similar question as well. Obviously, you've had 3 fights with Alex at this point. I mean, was there anything in the mixed martial arts contest that surprised you or was different than you expected, or do you feel like you know this man 100% at this point?
I'll say his recovery and his fighting spirit. That's something that I definitely felt like he surprised me with. But Saturday night, time for talking is done. I'm going to show him my fighting spirit, and you all know I have that shit.
And for you, Izzy, on Saturday, what is most important to you? Is it about regaining the UFC title and being world champion again, or is it simply beating?
Fuck the belt. I'm coming for his head.
And just lastly for me, Dana, I just want to ask you quickly, it's the first time we've seen you since the massive merger news with WWE. I'm just curious, your thoughts on that massive deal. And I guess, fans are trying to figure out what it means to them. How will it impact the UFC and the fans?
I'd rather not talk about that right now. We could talk about that another time. But yeah, obviously, it's exciting for the company and everything else. But this is about these guys right now, not that.
Questions for Jorge Masvidal. Obviously, the big story this week has been 20 years since we came to Miami. Do you think the UFC was waiting for a fighter like yourself from here to come back from Miami?
I think you should ask him right there. Ask Dana that question, man, because I help influence decisions, but he calls the shots at the end, so I think that's a Dana question.
But then I'll ask you, Dana White, I'll ask the same question. Were you waiting for a fighter like Jorge Masvidal to finally return to Miami?
Listen, whenever you can come to somebody's hometown that's a superstar like he is, I mean, it's fun, it's exciting, it's energetic. You know that when they both come out of the tunnel on Saturday night, it's just that goosebump moment that's going to be, it's badass, and you don't see it in any other sport. So, yeah, the answer to your question is yes.
Another one for Jorge. I guess what can fans expect from you on Saturday when you do get locked in there with Gilbert?
Violencia, 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 cojones, pinga, me cago en toda esta gente, los voy a matar. Llevo entrenando mucho tiempo y esto va para la gente que me entiende lo que estoy diciendo. Voy a representar y voy a darlo todo para que ganemos y representar la cultura de los otros. ¿Cierto o no? Toda mi gente, no se preocupen, yo me vengo preparando mucho tiempo antes de esta pelea. Sepa, no hay nada que él pueda hacer más que recibir la paliza. Bendiciones a todos, gracias a toda mi ciudad por apoyarme siempre. Ya ustedes saben, violencia nada más, cojones.
A lot of violence tonight to all the people that understand me. This is for you. I've been training a lot. This is for my city. This is for the people that are here. It's all for you. I've been training a lot. I'm all about this. Violence all the way.
Question for Gilbert Burns. Obviously, a lot of the talk has been who deserves the title shot, Colby Covington. If Jorge wins, is it Jorge Masvidal? Do you think people are overlooking you in this conversation of who could get the next title shot?
I don't care. Tomorrow's gonna be a show. You guys should tune in. Get your tickets. Come ready. I don't care. I'm gonna put on a show Saturday night.
Question for Israel Adesanya, right here. I just have to ask, what is this thing you're wearing on your neck right here?
I'm a dog. It's a dog collar, and I'm about to be unleashed.
I have one more question for Jorge. Jorge, yesterday at the hotel, there appeared to be a run-in between yourself and Kevin Holland. I was curious, what was that about?
Absolutely nothing. You know, there's nothing to talk about there. There's just some dick riding, cloud chasing bitch, you know, so ain't nothing to talk about.
Nah, that's not what you were saying yesterday, bro. Watch your fucking mouth.
Kevin, I'm curious, what is the issue there?
I called him baby
what's
girl
the
and he
question?
got mad.
Guys, come on. These two aren't even fighting. Knock it off.
All right, okay.
Do you have a question about the fight, who these guys are fighting, or you just want to start shit in here? What's your question?
Question for Adrian Yanez. Adrian, you are one of the most technical bantamweights in the division, but Rob Font has great boxing as well. When it comes to him as an opponent on Saturday, what do you see in him as the most dangerous factor?
Man, he's an absolute dog, man. Rob Font's an absolute dog, and I can't wait. Look, this whole training camp, I put myself in a Marvin Hagler mindset. Fucking war. Because, man, I got a guy who's going to go tooth and nail with me. That guy's going to be there every single time, man. I'm super excited to fight a guy, man, who's not going to fucking back down. Man, I'm telling you. It's going to be a fucking war. That's why they put us on the Miami card. That's why they put us here. Because they want to fucking fight here.
Rob, for you, I'm curious. You've got one of the best jabs at 135. How does your boxing rank against Adrian's?
Man, he's sharp, you know, he's real sharp. He brings a lot of pressure. He loves going to the body, but I really have a lot of faith in my jab. I believe once I get this thing going, man, it's going to be a long night for him for sure.
Hey guys, this question's for Kevin Holland. Kevin, Santiago, your opponent, is a really well-rounded fighter and always brings a high pace to his fights. I'm curious, how are you going to nullify his pressure? And ultimately, how are you going to get it done on Saturday night?
Footwork, angles, and then ultimately trying not to let him knock me the fuck out, right? Yeah.
Cool. And if Dana will let me, I was going to ask if we can get a little bit of...
Don't even ask, bro. Don't even ask. Don't get me in trouble.
You got it, man. Good luck on Saturday. And for Santiago, you've had an incredible career, and this fight against Holland, I think, will put you in a good place in the division. Where do you think this puts you in the division, and what are you striving to achieve before you call it an end to your career?
Man, that's an exciting fight. This is the kind of opponent that I want. They want to put a show for the fans, you know, to give a award for everyone. And I'm ready to smash this guy and show to the world I'm one of the best welterweight. I need more opportunity for the belt. I have an injury. I was number 6 in the world, but now I'm going to prove to the world I stay in the best welterweights to take my opportunity for the belt.
And I'll ask you, given what we know about what happened yesterday, do you think that Kevin's focus isn't entirely on you? And do you think that if he's looking past you, it'll really...
Don't even answer that question.
No worries. One for you, Dana. So the UFC just announced that it's coming to Canada this summer. So I was just curious if you had an official target location for that fight night, and if you had any ideas what kind of fighters we might see on it.
Yeah, we're talking about coming to Canada. We'll be there soon. We're still working on all the logistics. But the answer is yes. And I don't know about the card yet, because we don't even have the dates solidified yet.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
Lo fuimos.
For Raul, you've been thrusted into the spotlight at a very young age, and not only has it not affected you, but you're thriving. What is it about you that makes you or allows you to shine under high pressure?
I just believe in my skill set. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm going to continue to grow. We're just getting started, and we're coming for that belt.
And for Christian Rodriguez, what do you make of Raul? Obviously, somebody that's bursted into the scene. Do you buy the hype? Is he as good as people make him out to be?
Yeah, I think he's such a good fighter. He's Mexican, of course, so I know all the good skills that he brings.
And for Dana, we know that the UFC sometimes has these cities that they visit annually. Can the 305, can Miami become this city that gets a UFC event annually?
Yes.
Was that question for me?
Yes, for you.
Yeah, say it again, louder.
Can Miami become a city where it's like an annual host of a UFC event? Like
Yes.
London?
All day. All day. All day. He said yes.
So let me tell you this. So last time we came to Miami was 20 years ago. We did a gate of like $446,000 20 years ago. We came back here this time. This is one of the all-time biggest gates. This is the biggest gate outside of Las Vegas and outside of Madison Square Garden. We will definitely be coming back to Miami.
Cojones.
And another for you, Dana. Both Gilbert Burns and Masvidal have said in the lead up to this fight that they believe that if they do something spectacular on Saturday, they can surpass Colby Covington and get the next welterweight title shot. Do you think there's a chance that they might change your mind on Saturday? Do you leave a little room for that?
Well, listen, Colby Covington, like him or not, the guy showed up in London. He cut weight. He did what he was supposed to do. He deserves the fight against Leon. There's no doubt. We'll see how this fight turns out on Saturday night. And the best case scenario is one of these guys are next. Yeah.
When's the last time he finished somebody? I know Dana likes action, so.
You got another one for me?
Yeah, one last question for Jorge.
Yep.
I'm going to do this in Spanish because I know how important the Hispanic public is for you. Jorge, el perro, el gallo de Miami, por fin pelea en su casa. Sabemos qué esperar de ti, pero ¿qué tú esperas del público? ¿Qué quieres ver de estos fans el sábado en la noche?
Hey, Jorge, the king of Miami, a local guy here. We know what we can expect from you, but what can we expect from the plug on Saturday?
Thanks, because I didn't understand what he had said before that. Bro, violencia es lo que yo les voy a dar a ellos para entretenerlos, para que se disfruten. Y lo que ellos me van a dar a mí es la energía buena, las vibraciones buenas. Todos somos mayormente inmigrantes, latinos, gente que hemos luchado por estar aquí en este país y por lo que tenemos. So, cuando venga la pelea, yo sé que me van a estar dando esa energía buena que es Miami. Y yo siendo un hijo de Miami lo voy a sentir desde que yo entré ahí.
For everything we've been through, this is Miami. We know what we represent. We know what you're bringing out on Saturday.
Shout out to Eve Edwards. I didn't see him till right now. What's up, dog?
Go ahead, son.
Vou matar.
Você foi campeão em novembro, sua popularidade explodiu no Brasil desde então. Em janeiro, o Davidson perdeu o cinturão, o Glover perdeu a chance de recuperar o cinturão. E o UFC voltou para o Brasil depois de muito tempo, estreou uma nova parceria no Brasil. Essa luta de sábado e a manutenção desse título, qual é importante? Não para você, mas para o crescimento do esporte no Brasil.
After you won the title back in November, you exploded in Brazil. Ever since, so Davidson lost his title, and Glover couldn't have the chance to regain the title again. Not for you, but for UFC, now that we have a new partnership in Brazil and UFC Fight Pass in Brazil, how important is this, not just for you, but for Brazil to regain the status?
Depois dos dois jogos perderam os cinturões, a resposta está em você. O que você fala sobre isso?
É muito importante, né? Um mega evento desse daqui. Um pouco mais de 20 anos aí que esse evento não acontecia em Miami. Então está sendo muito bem visto, está um card recheado e é uma luta que todo mundo está querendo ver. Uma outra luta minha com o Israel Adesanya e a gente vai proporcionar momentos bons para você, um show de luta para vocês.
A great fight, a loaded card, a great crowd. Everybody here, ever since for 20 years, it hasn't been here. On Saturday, we're going to give you, myself and Adesanya are going to put on a show for all of you here in the arena.
Durinho, você treina aqui na Flórida, o Masvidal treina na Flórida, o Kamaru Usman treinou aqui e o Colby treina aqui. Eu faço duas perguntas em cima disso. Uma, qual o segredo da Flórida de ter tantos campeões nessa categoria em específico? E segundo, quem é o rei da Flórida e por quê?
Hey, you train in Florida, Masvidal trains in Florida, Kamaru trained in Florida, a lot of champions train in Florida. I have two questions for you. First, what is the secret behind Florida? And two, Who's the real king of Miami?
We love Florida. You know, all the Brazilians, everyone that comes here, it looks like real, humid, nice. I've been here on 10 years. I know you guys love George, all the respect, but I've been here 10 years. And I'm gonna put on a show. And Saturday night, we're gonna find out. You guys get a new king on Saturday, we'll see.
No.
Go ahead, sir.
This question is for Santiago Poncinibio. In Spanish first para todos los latinos que vinieron hoy acá. Hermano, Argentina acaba de salir campeón del mundo, tu gente está feliz, vos sos el peleador más importante de Argentina, ¿sentís que esta pelea es como una Copa del Mundo? ¿Que tenés que ganar para que siga la fiesta?
Seguimos de fiesta. 6 millones de personas en la calle festejando esta locura del Mundial y vamos a seguir de fiesta. Este sábado le vamos a arrancar la cabeza a Kevin Holland y vamos a seguir de festejo.
Sí, señor.
Santiago, you're the Argentina world champion of the World Cup. You are the most important fighter from Argentina. Do you feel this is the World Cup for you? This is this as important as a World Cup for you? Well, there are 6 million people. That's his answer. 6 million people out there. This is like the World Cup. We're going to continue the party from the World Cup.
Estuviste rankeado entre los mejores del mundo, una enfermedad casi te saca la vida, no pudo, pero sí te sacó del ranking. ¿Crees que una victoria contra Kevin Holland te vuelve a poner entre los mejores del mundo? Do you think after this fight you can be back in the ranking between the best ones in the world?
Creo que sí, creo que me lo merezco. Estaba a 6 del mundo y fue removido por inactividad, no por perder mis peleas. Siempre hago peleas emocionantes. Mis últimas derrotas fueron decisión dividida, peleas que pensé que gané y el resto las vengo ganando. Creo que una victoria contundente me va a poner de nuevo en la conversación para estar cerca por el título.
Vamos arriba, hermano. The last one for the champ. Pereira, campeón. ¿Você acha que va a ser una lucha más psicológica o física?
Hey, champion, do you think it's going to be more of a psychological fight or a physical fight?
Então, vai ser uma luta psicológica e física. Todo mundo sabe, né? Eu falo pra vocês que a gente tem que esquecer essas 3 lutas que passaram. Mas o Adesanya, ele nunca vai esquecer essas lutas. Aconteça o que aconteça, ele nunca vai esquecer. Então eu uso isso ao meu favor, mas o principal vai ser no sábado.
It's going to be a physical fight. It's going to be a psychological fight. I've said as many times, we have to forget all those 3 fights. But I know he hasn't forgotten any of those 3 fights. And I think that's going to be a psychological factor. The important thing is what you're going to see on Saturday.
Go ahead.
Question for the former champion, Israel Adesanya. When you stand at the podium making your Hall of Fame speech one day, where do you visualize this fight camp, this soon-to-be war for UFC 287 ranking among the career milestones?
You mean the fight camp or the fight?
The fight.
This fight, like I've said, this is my 8-mile moment. This is it. One more shot at this. I put everything on my back. I've done everything in my power to make sure I do the worst thing to this man this weekend. I'm done with this talking shit. You guys want to hear me talk or you want to hear me fight?
Ele fez isso nas últimas 3 lutas. Ele falou a mesma coisa e não fez.
Who did this the past 3 fights? He said the same things, and the result was that.
It don't even understand what I said, not understand what you said. What's going to happen this weekend is we're going to fight and see who the best man is at the end.
Ele me faz rir.
He makes me laugh.
And question for the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland. WWE, UFC merger, one umbrella. Past or present, professional wrestling. If you could take one person with the steel chair to the skull, who would it be? Or UFC fighter, wrestling ring.
No comment. I'm trying not to get in trouble.
Thank you. Any other stupid questions?
This one's for Izzy. Yesterday at Media Day, you seemed locked in. You didn't do too much talking, and you said you was ready to fight today. Is this the most locked in you've been for a UFC fight?
Yes, it's the most locked in I've ever been. And again, time for talking is almost done. Saturday night, yeah, we'll fight.
And this question is from Mr. 305. You told me yesterday we was cleaning up Vegas. 63% of the money at DraftKings is riding with you. The people out here, we want to know, is we getting the job done on Saturday?
Put the house on it. It's time we clean out Vegas one more time, everybody. All the goons know what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Go ahead, sir.
Question for you, Dana. Last time Raul fought on the feature prelim, now he's starting the main card. How special is Raul to get him in these important slots in your cards, in your pay-per-view cards?
Yeah, obviously we think very highly of him. He's up here. I mean, if you think of how young this kid is and where he's come from, the fact that he's up here amongst all these greats here shows how much we think of him. So he's got a big test coming up this weekend.
And for Jorge, hay mucha gente con muchas cosas importantes aquí en juego, pero nadie esperó 20 años para pelear en casa. ¿Qué tan importante para ti es una victoria aquí en el 305?
Jorge, there are so many people here that have waited for 20 years for this to happen, but I mean, how important is this for you?
En primero, Díaz Canelo, un cingao, un maricón. Para abajo el comunismo, Venezuela, Cuba, Brasil, Colombia, todos estos sitios que están pasando por estas situaciones. I love you. Y cuando yo entré ahí al ring es para representarlos a todos. Ya me olvidé de la pregunta un poco, pero no se preocupen. Biden también un let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon.
Go ahead, sir.
Botan, quando as portas do octógono se fecharem no sábado, você vai olhar para frente, vai ver um cara que você já venceu 3 vezes. Ele vai olhar e vai ver um cara que ele perdeu 3 vezes. O quanto esse peso psicológico pode jogar ao seu favor e contra ele? Você já passou por alguma situação assim na sua carreira?
Alex, when those doors close on Saturday, you're going to be looking at a guy that you beat 3 times. He's going to be looking at a guy that beat him 3 times. How much of a factor does that go into play? And have you ever faced a situation like that?
Com certeza isso vai me ajudar muito. Desde a primeira luta que eu tive com ele, ele viu a minha evolução. Eu assisti a algumas lutas daquele tempo para cá. Esse cara não mudou muito, mudou pouca coisa. Eu mudei totalmente. E ele sabe que eu mudei e ele sabe o quanto eu sou perigoso.
Of course, that's going to play a big thing on Saturday. Ever since, this guy has seen how much I've evolved from fight 1 to fight 3. And I've watched a lot of fights from back in the day, and I have evolved so much. He has not changed a lot. And he understands how dangerous and how much I can do.
Durinho, Gilbert Burns, as 3 últimas lutas do Masvidal, ele se preparou para caras da luta agarrada, né? 2 vezes o Usman, uma o Colby Covington. Você é um cara que vem do jiu-jitsu, mas evoluiu tanto em pé que virou também um nocauteador, todo mundo respeita muito a sua mão. Nesse sábado, o Masvidal deve tomar mais atenção com a sua parte em pé, a sua luta no chão. Qual é o maior perigo que você acredita que leva para ele no sábado?
During the last 3 fights, Masvidal had to prepare himself for a grappling because of Usman and Covington. And how does he feel? I mean, now you come from jiu-jitsu. What does he have to worry about? That you're going to take him to the ground, or are you going to be standing up and striking?
I'm coming with everything. I'm throwing everything on this guy, or I'm going to knock him out, or I'm going to finish him. I'm coming for a finish.
Só para terminar a última aqui, Durinho, você mora aqui perto, né? Mas o clima local tá muito a favor do Masvidal aqui, a torcida até difícil da gente conseguir ouvir. O quanto isso pode voltar de motivação para você? Como é que você se sente nesse clima?
And a final question for you. I know that you live here, you train here, but I mean, he's playing at home. We can feel it, we can hear, we can barely hear ourselves. So how much is that going to play against you on Saturday?
Eu já sabia disso, já vim pronto para isso, sabia que a torcida ia ser dele, mas tô ficando bom em pegar a torcida de volta para mim. Amanhã vai ser mais um dia.
I knew this. I knew coming in that this was going to be his crowd, but I'm getting good at this. Turning crowds around and coming around my way. It's going to be like that on Saturday.
Go ahead, sir.
Pergunta pro Masvidal. Masvidal, você ganhou o título do BMF contra o Nate Diaz e disse que em caso de derrota pro Durinho, você pode eventualmente se aposentar. Você acha justo com os outros lutadores que almejam esse cinturão não receberem a chance de lutar por ele?
Hey, Masvidal, you're the BMF champion, and you got this title on your own, and then you said that maybe in a case of a loss, you'll retire. Do you think it's fair to other fighters that want that BMF title?
For starters, I'll say there's many BMFs sitting up right here with me. So Yeah, we'll definitely put that title up again. You know, I just want to get a nice winning streak and knock some people's heads out. And we're gonna put that title right back up. You know, Miami, I love you.
Última pergunta para o Poatan. Poatan, você, na última luta, você entrou como desafiante e hoje você entra como campeão. Isso faz alguma diferença no seu psicológico, na sua maneira de se portar durante a luta? É melhor ou pior para você essa questão?
One last for Alex. Last time you came in as a challenger, now you come in as a champion. How does that change your mind for a fight on Saturday?
Não, a mesma coisa, eu sempre agressivo, todo mundo que sabe do meu trabalho, sabe que eu vou pra cima o tempo todo, cercando o tempo todo, e é o que eu vou fazer. Eu não vou pensar, eu sou o campeão, o cara tem que vir pra cima. Não, vamos buscar também.
Everybody knows me, that's not going to change. Always aggressive, always pushing forward. I'm not a guy that thinks I'm the champion. I'm going to go after it as if it was the first time.
Miami, it's so awesome to be back here. Thank you guys for showing up today. We're going to square these guys off for photo op. We'll see you at the weigh-ins and we'll see you